prep, ladies and gentlemen, and then I hit the screen accidentally because I got a touch screen and the notes went all in different configurations. I'm like, come on, man. This is Impact Life 24/7 with your host, CL King. Hope everyone is doing well on this great start to the week, the work week, Monday. And we're just closing in rapidly on the end of 2020. And I am certain that everyone is glad to have this year in the rearview mirror. But I can also say that, man, ladies and gentlemen, that we're going to finish this year strong. Me and my team we're not shying away from what 2020 has brought. We are working with the cards that we've been dealt, and we're going to hustle, man. We're going to crush it. So Impact Life 24/7 is a international podcast that is hosted Monday night at 8:30, Tuesday night at 8:30, and also Thursday night at 8:30, right here live on my Facebook page. And also you can subscribe to impactlife247.podbean.com, or you can find it on our website at clkingspeaker.com. This is the avenue by which we have been assigned for this season to do some great things and to reveal some great things. We have great people from all across the country and around the world that tune into our show and join us on our show. Every other night, I have somebody with me here at the studios, here at the ranch in Jacksonville, North Carolina. Every other night, I get to have a guest that tells us and tells the world about the things that they have done to impact lives. And so I'm thankful tonight that it's just me and you. It's Open Mic Monday, ladies and gentlemen, on Impacting Life 24/7. Again, with your host, CL King, coming to you live from the High Definition Studios here in Jacksonville. And I took all my studio equipment out, if you will, so that I could enjoy the festivities here in the living room. And I wanted to be a part of the holiday season, and you just can't get into the holiday season in the studio. So I just felt so alone in there. I just wanted to come out and be a, I wanted to have some festivities. I wanted to have some Christmas cheer, and I hope that you guys are having some Christmas cheer, and I'm wishing everyone a very Merry Christmas. I say Merry Christmas. I don't really mind if it's politically correct or not, because this is the Christmas season, and that's what we're celebrating. I know sometimes I go to concerts and they're saying that it's the winter concert. I'm just like, listen, brother, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. I remember what it was like in the snow. There was nothing that we were celebrating about winter. Okay, we don't have a winter concert, a fall concert, and a summer concert. We're celebrating a particular season, and that season, ladies and gentlemen, is Christ Mass. And so here we are. I know I done made some of y'all mad. Some of y'all politically correct folks just done left the building, but that's okay, because it is all right to talk to yourself. And that's what a podcast basically is, unless you have a guest. And so we are here. We're closing in on the day with great rapidity that this year will be concluded. And I have opened up the microphone to Open Mic Monday to allow you to describe for us, if you want, and we'll take your comments. All you got to do is type them in the chat box. We're here live. What is your why? Some of you are doing some things and pursuing some things and setting your sails to an untried breeze. And the real question is why? Why are you doing what you're doing? Or the other question that you might ask yourself when we're developing this pattern of asking why, sometimes it's good to ask why you are not. Why aren't you where you want to be? Why haven't you finished that book, CL King? I'm supposed to have finished the book a long, long time ago, ladies and gentlemen, and I still have not finished it. Why? What is my why? Well, you gotta really take a moment, and I think some people need to do this more often, is take a moment and examine why. And sometimes that examination can be painful. When you look into the mirror and you say, King, why do you look like a walrus in captivity? What is your problem, brother? Why have you allowed yourself to get the way you are? And oftentimes when we hear the word why, that engenders the opportunity for us to give excuses. And excuses are probably the skin that's stretched around this thing called a lie, a reason. The reason why I've allowed myself to get totally unhealthy during the pandemic is because I'm just in a sedentary position. I have a sit down job. I'm depressed, and on and on and on and on. And I had a guest on the show a couple weeks ago. David, oh my goodness, I wish I could remember his name. David, I had him on the show, and I'm going to have him back again in 2021. And he talked about his book that's coming out that's called Get Out the Front Door, Go Out the Door. And so that's what I did today. When I found it was time for me to have a little lunch break, I suited up in my PT gear, and I walked out the front door and began walking. It was just that simple. So I could say, listen, the reason why I am obese and overweight is because of this. But I've got another reason why there's nothing stopping me from going out the front door and getting a little bit of fresh air and moving a bit. And so tonight we're going to talk about our whys. And I want to help you through just a series of steps to understanding your whys and what having a good definition of your why can do for you. I want you to know that I was raised in a compartment of time where excuses were not common. Okay, I want you to understand that I was raised in a dispensation of time where excuses were not common. Of course, there were major difficulties coming up as a child. Of course, there were times when I just felt like I was absolutely going nowhere and life was closing in with its vice grip tentacles to squeeze the very life and hope out of my body. Yes, I experienced those things at 3 years old, at 8, 9, 10 years old, at 11 years old, and all the way up till 18 years old. I experienced life in a vice grip, but it was also a compartment that said, listen, you cannot make excuses for why things are the way they are. Most of the things, ladies and gentlemen, that happened to me as a kid were beyond my control. It wasn't like I spilled the milk on the floor or the Kool-Aid on the carpet and got the carpet stained. And that was a result of my behavior. No, 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 no. It was hell on earth. And that's okay. I understand that is what it was. But then as I began to grow and as I began to develop, I said, listen, I could take the whys here and use those as ammunition for why I'm going to be a gangster, why I'm going to sell weed, why I'm going to be on the block, why I'm going to be drinking my 40, why I'm going to be rolling in the hood, why I'm going to be pimping these women. I could use all of those as the whys. I was homeless, I was abused, I seen all different types of vile acts when I was a kid, and I could use all of that as my why, the glorious banner behind me that says, this is why CL King is a product of the system because of the way he came up. That was my why. That could be my why. And I wonder how many people have utilized their tough upbringing, their childhood, a terrible marriage, abusive relationship. I wonder if people utilize those whys as soft, fuzzy, velvet crutches. I can't. I think about this, and I'm going to get into the details here in a moment. You're listening to Impacting Life 24/7 with your host CL King, and I'm thinking about the time when I had 2 failed back surgeries, right, ladies and gentlemen, and it was rough. It was a very treacherous time. Having back surgery is not something that I would recommend if you can avoid it. And when I had those back surgeries, both of the back surgeries failed, and we paid nearly $250,000. Thank God for insurance. We paid a ton of money for those surgeries. The first time was through the back to try to fix the disc, and then the next time was through the belly to take out all the disc and put in some new metal hardware. And I still was in excruciating pain. And so I was on pain management from 2016 until just last year. And I missed so much. And I had some other issues back in 2013 and 14 and 15 that I was on narcotics as well. And I missed so much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, I missed a whole lot of my kids' life, my wife, times that I just cannot remember. Even to this day, my memory is just not as sharp. And I had to get back to at least some sense similitude of normalcy. I realized that, man, opioids distort what your pain receptors actually are feeling, and pain that I was going to have to live with was manageable. And so instead of sitting around and complaining and belly aching for why I had to be on 3,700 milligrams of pain medicine, I said, you know what? Someone gave me some advice to start exercising, and that is exactly what I did. And I started cutting my pills in half and started walking down my dosages. Are you listening to me? And then I got off of pain management. I don't use any narcotics anymore. Now I got some other issues I got to take care of, i.e., blood pressure. That's why I got to behave on the show and not have a stroke, because sometimes CL King be getting hype. And the why behind that was, listen, I just cannot continue to live my life in a fog. But there are others that use that particular backdrop as the why they must stay on it. Oh, I'm in so much pain. I get it. I got hardware in my back. I can identify with the excruciating pain associated with failed back surgeries. I got nerve damage and neuropathy that's going to stay with me the rest of my life. I get it. But also at the same time, this temple is an amazing instrument. It's an organism of change. It can work through problems and situations. It can make things better. And my pain management doctor told me, ladies and gentlemen, that I was one of the first people to wean myself off of her program. Because it's a trip, man. Any of you that have been on pain management and have been on opioids, man, they make you go in and take a drug test every month. They go and count your pills to make sure you're not overusing them or underusing them or trying to sell them. Man, you go in there, you feel like you guilty before you even get in the building. Yeah, and so I'm just like, listen, this is not the quality of life that I want. I can't stay on pain management. So here's why I'm going to get off pain management, because I want to be back to myself. I want to understand that when my kids are calling for my attention, I can give it to them. And I will tell you this, long-term opioid use does something to your brain. It fried a few of my cells, let me just tell you. I know Snoop Dogg can't remember nothing. So anyway, I want to just take a quick break and let you hear about our gear program. I want you to know that our gear training is designed to help people get in gear. In 2020, we launched this, and we've had several sessions throughout the year. And in 2021, we want to continue with our course of reaching 1 million students. And this gear training really does help people in 4 dynamic areas. And so I'd like for you to listen to this commercial real quick, and then we will come right back. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, your friend CL King here. Hold on. That's the wrong one. See, this is what you get for being your own DJ, right? Let's try this one again. Commercial for the gear training. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, your friend CL. I don't know why. I'm gonna tell you about the gear training. The gear training is a 4-part series that focuses on helping young people and individuals and adults find their niche in life, to find their niche, if that's the proper way to say it. And what that does is it focuses on 4 key areas: your giftings, the energy and results required to magnify and activate those giftings, the energy and endurance that you need, the when you look at your A, there's GEAR, gear. G is for gifting, E is for energy and endurance that's needed for those giftings. The A is to activate, to actually get something moving. And oftentimes people who try to find their way, they get lost in the activity. They don't understand that you've got to activate your goals. And then finally, examining and studying results. And so that's what you get when you try to do stuff live. You get sometimes some technical difficulties, but that's okay, because I want you guys to know that our gear training is still available, and we're going to be watching. For opportunities to present that in schools and community centers and at-risk centers all across the country, and we can do it completely virtually. So that's going to be really hype. That is going to be really, really hype. And so tonight I want to talk to you about Your why. Have you discovered what your why is? And what I did was I went to developinghabits.com and I study those folks and utilize their information a lot. And so I want to just kind of give you a few tips that I pulled and gleaned from them in terms of actually understanding your why, the major benefits of knowing your why. Here's what I want you to know. It provides clarity for your life, understanding your why. Okay, it provides clarity for your life. People who have a sense of purpose are often seen as being unstoppable. It's like, man, you can't shake them. And they are capable of shaping their lives in ways that they want. In other words, they're in command. They're running the show for their particular life. When you become a laser focused on your goals, you will have no questions about what you are getting up each and every day to accomplish. Oftentimes people get up and it's a drudgery, it's a drag. They're not fulfilling, they're not fulfilled, they're not finding purpose or passion in what they're doing. All they're doing is just going, and it's almost like Groundhog Day. On the other hand, listen, without knowing your purpose, this article says that you will be unclear about what you want out of life. And you become prone to wasting time. Do you know that there is so much time wasted, ladies and gentlemen? And you know what you do? You find yourself wasting your time on futile efforts. This can leave you confused and cause you to lack confidence in your work. Why? Because listen, we got so many new gadgets now that are vying for our attention. You know, sometimes people can watch TikTok videos, scroll through hundreds of them, and hours pass by and they have not accomplished a blessed thing. Huh? Oh, I'm teaching tonight. Yeah, you know what? They say that an average person scrolls 28,000 feet. That's almost the height of Mount Everest every year, scrolling with mindless activity, wasting time. I'm not against social media, okay? I am against some of the effects of it, but I'm not against using it as a tool. But here's what we're finding, that you've got to find your narrow focus and stop wasting time. Stop making excuses that you don't have any time and start reclaiming. Check your phone and see how much screen time you got. All of y'all with Apple phones out there, you can probably do that. Just check your screen time right now. You can probably see, man, I have 17 hours of screen time on my phone. And in those 17 hours, what did you accomplish? You were scrolling through other people's entertainment. You were going through other people's creations. You were looking at other people's content, and you weren't forming your own. So listen, having an understanding of your why, it gives you clarity in your life. It also infuses you with passion for your goals. How many people out there have goals? Listen, I don't care what this past year has dealt you. It is not a death sentence. It's not designed for you to just go out in the back and dig a 6-foot hole and jump in it. You got to continue to align yourself. I talked to someone today who's going to be on our show in February, who is an absolutely phenomenal guest. He'll be on our show the first Monday in February, and you do not want to miss it. You know, we talked today in our pre-show interview about pivoting, man, about being agile and flexible and finding different avenues when life presents you with something that was not expected, and you understand it, you analyze it, and you diversify, and you continue to grind. When you know your purpose in life, listen, when you know your purpose in life, this is a very key point. You are more deeply committed to pursuing your goals when you understand your purpose. See, I've watched some of you. Let me just talk to you plainly. I've watched some of you start stuff. I've watched some of you start podcasts. I watched some of you say that you're going to write a book. I've watched some of you say you're going to lose weight, and on and on and on. And you start stuff and then you never finish because it really isn't a part of your goal. It may just be a fad for the moment. Oh, I'm teaching tonight. You got to understand, when I started this podcast, it may have been more of a fad than it was a goal. But then as I began to realize that, man, this is actually going somewhere, and then I surrounded myself with people that were in the lane and understood what I was trying to do. My great friend Wally said, King, you got to go forward, brother. You got to continue you got to build. You got to get yourself some equipment. So we've spent quite a pretty penny on revamping our entire approach to make this podcast palatable for those that listen. And that's a goal. A goal of mine is to be on all the major platforms, and for people around the world to be able, I want to be able to bridge the gap. Why do we have a podcast? I want to bridge the gap between all the continents and let people see that there are people from every corner of the globe making an impact, and inspire people to not become not to become cynical or to allow complacency to rule their life, but to say, man, you know what? I still need to make a difference in my community. The idea behind this, in terms of passion, is that you will never have to settle for less than what you want in life, right? The chances are slim that your ultimate goal is to work for someone else or be someone else's assistant. That is not my passion in life. My passion in life is not to continue to punch a clock for somebody else and listen to a bunch of highly paid bureaucrats telling me what a bunch of hot air. I got a mission. I got a purpose. I got a goal. I got a drive. I got somewhere to be. And you know what? Sometimes you got to be on somebody's clock to keep food on your table. But while you're not on their clock, man, you need to be hustling and grinding and focusing on your passion, because your passion is really what's going to push you forward towards your goals. You probably, instead of working for somebody else, you probably want to create your own way. And when you have a goal, and when you got your goals aligned, man, this gentleman that I'm having in February, he's going to help you. He created an entire app for helping people get their goals set. Man, an app that says, man, listen, I'm going to help you align not just your business, but your life, your marriage, your health, your finances. It's going to blow you away what this gentleman has created. And you got to tune into that show, Impacting Life 24/7, first Monday in February at 8:30. I'm really disappointed that did not work. The gear promo, because it should have worked, man. I don't get it. Let me just see one more time. Maybe it was me. Let's try it one more time. Hey, ladies and gentlemen. No, it's still not working. It's supposed to be playing some music, and it is not working. That's unfortunate. Your friend CL King here, founder and president of the CL King Group, as well as the host of Impact. All right, let me start it over. Here you go. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, your friend CL King here, founder and president of the CL King Group, as well as the host of Impacting Life 24/7, a weekly podcast helping young people, those who serve them, and everyone in between make life decisions that will impact their world forever and ever. One of the things that I've discovered after speaking to over 250,000 people is that sometimes people get stuck in the mud because they've tried the same old methodologies and they just simply do not work. And so I went into the lab with my team, and we created a revolutionary training entitled GEAR, GEAR. You got to identify your giftings. You got to understand the energy and endurance required to elevate those giftings. You've got to activate yourself to make your giftings of any value. And also, you must monitor and expect results. This training is truly revolutionary for an organization as well as an individual. If you would like to have this training or sign up for it, one of our online webinars, email us at clkgorg@gmail.com, or you can contact us directly at area code 252-626-8987, and Greg will get you signed up. It's time to get in gear, ladies and gentlemen. Get in gear for the year. Yeah, man, that's our gear training. You can also contact us if you'd like to set up an initial consultation for the gear training. You can just go to clkingspeaker.com, and we've got a link there for you to schedule an appointment, and we can do everything virtual. I really want to continue to get this gear training into schools and community centers and help at-risk students, because listen, sometimes we put these kids on paths. Sometimes we give them paths and it's not really the path that they want to take. All right. And if we can show kids how to identify their gifts, if we can show them how to really focus on what it is they love, their passion, like we're just talking about here, if we can help them focus on their passion, I'm telling you what, a young person can really, really fly. But oftentimes we're focusing on benchmarks. We're focusing on, okay, by 12 you need to be this, by 16 you need to have this, by 18 you need to be here. And oftentimes the kids are just being force fed these benchmarks, these artificial benchmarks that we have created, and we have not examined what the kids gift is. We've not examined what these students love, what their passion is, what their desire is. And man, when we can start tapping into that. Okay, because oftentimes, these kids go to school. I have my wife's in education. I was formerly an educator, so I love education. I support it 100%. My goodness, I speak and I've spoken in over 260 schools, so I appreciate schools. But what I am saying is that there's also a component that I don't think we emphasize enough. It's like, okay, you got to the 12th grade. And what are you going to do? You're going to go work at Bojangles? You're going to go in the military, or you're going to go to college? And really, has the kid goes to college and they're like, well, I'm going, but I don't really know what my major is, and I'm just going to try to find myself. I'm like, what do you love? What is your passion? What is your gift? What is the thing that you wake up every morning thinking, man, I got to do this? And if we could teach young people, this is what the gear training focuses on, teaching them how to hone in and narrow in on that gift that like my son's getting ready to be a senior, and his gift is two wooden sticks on sheepskin. Well, I don't know if it's sheepskin, but it's skin on the drums. That's his gift, man. He loves it. That's all he ever thinks about. That's what he does 24/7. And so I said, Chris, when you were little, brother, I knew that you had a gift, and we have now turned that gift into something that can put food on your table, my brother. Huh? So now he's going to play for the United States Army Band, utilizing his gift, not just going to try to, be some supply clerk, or going to be a crew chief somewhere that has nothing to do with what he loves. It's just another doldrum experience of paying the bills. I'm like, man, why don't we focus and help young people get their gifts? And so that's part of it. Okay, here's another thing, that understanding your why, because we got to make sure we understand our why. It keeps you focused on your goals. It keeps you focused on your goals. When you have identified your life's purpose, it's easy to focus on what truly matters. You'll be better equipped to avoid distractions, because distractions are coming from all corners of the world, and you'll achieve your vision. However, everyone now this is a great scenario. Everyone is going into business or another field that is less subjective, right? That's what they're doing. So you tell yourself that majoring in business is what you want to do because that's what you feel you should do. But doing so will not let you live out your purpose. I'm going to get a business degree and do what? What's your plan after that? If you listen, guys, if you are clear on what your why is, you won't waste time trying to obtain pointless goals. Some people listen to me and hear what I'm doing, and they're like, oh, we want you to come and join Amway, or we want you to come and we want you to sell vacuum cleaners because, man, you just have the gift of gab. I'm like, listen, man, that's not my purpose. That's not my goal. Okay, I'm not a salesman. Only thing I'm selling is my passion and burden to help other people. That's it. So I'm not going to be going down this road with you. Oh man, you could sell insurance, man. Just the way you can communicate it, blah blah. Man, listen, I ain't interested in your MLL program. MLM. I'm not interested in that. That's not my forte. That's not my gifting. That's not my calling. I understand what my gifting is, and I'm focusing laser sharp on that. To stay focused on your goals, they must be important to you. Listen, your subconscious, this is what this article says. Your subconscious can trick you into believing that you want one thing when in reality, these things do very little to help you live out your purpose. If you're an entrepreneur and you like, running your own show, but yet you got to still start out on fries at Mickey D's. Okay, that's cool. Run the fry machine. and then learn the burgers, and then learn the front end, and then learn how to be an assistant manager, and then learn how to be a manager, and then find what it takes to own a franchise, and then own your own and run the show. In my town in Jacksonville, North Carolina, the home of Marine Corps base Camp Lejeune, there's a gentleman that owns 3 Chick-fil-A's in one town. Chick-fil-A, that is a major accomplishment and almost an anomaly, because Chick-fil-A is not prone to letting franchisees own more than 2. And this gentleman owns 3, and they ain't far from one another. You got a Chick-fil-A on Western. You come up Western, you got a Chick-fil-A on the other end of Western. And then while you're passing that one, you got a Chick-fil-A in the mall. And this brother is crushing it. Why? Because he realized, okay, I need to figure out what Chick-fil-A's got. I need to understand their methodologies. And I love money, and I love taking care of people. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to learn the Chick-fil-A business, and I'm going to own my own. That's your why, ladies and gentlemen. Your why has got to be focused on you living out your purpose. Listen, understanding your why also, it helps you live healthier and live longer. Did you know that? See, numerous studies have shown that having a purpose in life leads to longer lifespans in older adults. That's why I'm really focused on my purpose. I'm really thankful for people that have injected themselves and their wisdom into my life to help me focus on my purpose. Like Greg, of course, and my good friend Danny, and others that have helped me see, man, King, you're on something here. Just keep on pushing, keep on focusing. Don't go off to the right now trying to be a commercial fisherman. You got it, man. Come on, keep going. The reason why people are healthier and live longer when they found their why, this may be because when you are living with purpose, when you're living with a purpose, you adopt a perspective focus, looking forward to the day when your purpose is fulfilled. See, like, it's okay, I got a goal. I see the end state. I see where I'm going. Oftentimes when you look at certain things in metric form, you could look and say, oh man, only had 3 views this week, or only had 10 listeners, only 1 or 2 downloads. Man, that stuff really unfazes me. I told our team, in fact, I said, listen, guys, you cannot look at just one medium of how we present this show. We present it on so many other platforms that people don't see the analytics. I do. And it's growing by leaps and bounds. And so when you say, man, you do a live show and you only see, a couple hundred views, man, I'm cool with that. I'm cool, because guess what? I understand that I'm fulfilling my purpose, and I'm looking forward to the day when this is a full-time global podcast. See, this causes everyday stressors when you understand your why. This causes everyday stressors to become less influential, and they have a smaller impact on your overall well-being. Listen, this is why I'm doing it. Well, man, nobody else is doing it, or you're not succeeding, you're not seeing the things. Listen, I understand that oftentimes you want to see results, because that's the R in the gear training. You want to see results. You got to monitor your results. You got to understand if you're doing something wrong, or if you're not in the right lane. I've made some shifts even in the last 3 or 4 weeks in the podcast world, understanding that I got to get in the lane with people that are of this like mind. You know what I mean? I can't just arbitrarily be just grabbing people from all over the place who don't really care about the podcast world. I got to find the place and the lane and the space where people are saying, man, listen, this is how we're doing this. This is the way we're going. You need to come on with us. And when you find that, you tap into your purpose, and then the stressors of everything else subside, they dissipate. Look, finding your why helps you build resilience. It helps you develop resilience. We have seen so many things take place in 2020. We have seen so many things slap us in the face. We've seen so many things kick us in the gut, man. And it's often, I would say, derailed people from their purpose. Have you established what your why is, and then 2020 made you say, why did I ever try to do that? Yeah. People who have a deeper sense of purpose in life are better at finding meaning. Watch this now, in setbacks. They find meanings in their setbacks they experience compared with those who wander through life aimlessly. A setback could be a number of things, like I tried to run that commercial for y'all. That was a setback. I didn't have it set up right through my ears, so it didn't sound like it was working right. So, you just find a way to find another lane, and you go back, regroup, get yourself set and try it again. And bam, the commercial works. That's what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Setbacks are nothing more than a setup for you to go ahead and accomplish what you want to do. When you know your purpose, you have a feeling of mastery that helps you let go of anything that goes wrong in your life that is irrelevant to your core values. King, you tried to run a commercial, it didn't work. Hey, listen, my core value is still to try to get out this content to inspire somebody to make an impact on a life. So if I don't get the commercial right, that's all right. I'm still going to continue to get the content that's going to help somebody and impact a life. I'll get the commercial right later. This is why I do this show live, man. It keeps you on your toes, man. You don't get to go back to the studio and edit out and fix all this kind of stuff, man. It's like there's a different pressure to doing a show live than there is doing it in the studio. But I do think in 2021, we're going to do some more. We're going to do quite a bit more studio work because it's just, we're going to be adding a whole lot more things. We're going to be adding 3 categories of sponsors to our show. You're going to hear about that in January. I really want folks to help us along this journey. We're going to have 3 very, very easy ways to help us in terms of sponsorship, and we want people to be a part of it. We want people to help us bridge the gap across all continents to show people that people are making an impact in life. We want to help get the word out for people that are doing great things, people who've got businesses, people who've got organizations, churches, community centers, all different types of things that people want to get the word out. We want to help them. We want to use our platform to do that. And then finally, we want people to help us help the at-risk community of youth with our gear training. And so we got 3 areas of sponsorship that are coming up, and you're going to hear about those in 2021 January. And so, listen, having your why helps you develop resiliency and integrity. It also allows you to live with integrity. When you got your why, you live with integrity because you're true to your core values. Those of you who know your purpose in life and understand um, what you are and what you were sent for, you walk a different path. These people are the most satisfied in general because they are living true to their core values. Living true to their core values. Like, see, sometimes you can see, people have got monetized programs and they're making, thousands of dollars a month. And that's not why I got into the podcast world. I did not get into the podcast world to monetize it. But I did recognize that as we have grown and we sink quite a pretty penny into the different features that we offer every month. I said, you know what? This is growing. It's impacting lives. It's expanding people's connection with others. We are connecting people that you probably would have never met. We had Miss Soreo on the show, who lost her leg with a drunk driver crashing into a car that crashed into her and severed her entire leg. And she really could have gave up on life, but instead of giving up on life, she used her voice, and she uses her voice to this day to sing to people and inspire them. Sing at Walter Reed Medical Center and just all over the world, singing to troops. And she sings to those troops that have gone through the unfortunate cases of IEDs and dismemberment on the battlefield. Some of y'all would have never heard that story if it wasn't for Impacting Life 24/7. What about the folks that we had on a couple weeks ago where the dear lady Kelly decided to give Matthew a kidney? She gave it to him because he had a need. One of the greatest things that you can do in life is you can find a need and meet it. She was way older than him. They really didn't have much in common, totally different perspectives and trajectories in life. And she found out that this man was on dialysis and that he had a stroke, and he had to go to dialysis every other day. And she's like, you know what? I'm going to get tested. And it wasn't just lip service. It wasn't just, hey, man, I'm going to start this, but then I never follow through. It wasn't that. It was like, man, here's my why. My why is because I got 2 good kidneys and I can live with one. And if I can continue to have a quality of life with one, why can't I help this man who has none have a quality of life? Finding your why helps you live with integrity, man. It's like, you know what? I'm not going to be bought. I'm not going to be sold out. I'm not going to, I'm not going to be trapped. I'm not going to be garnered by the trappings of, hey man, we'll give your show this commercial boost, and we'll send money if you just speak this, or if you just talk this. No, 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 man. We got a purpose here, and our purpose is impacting lives 24/7. And that's what we seek out. We seek out people who have impacted lives, or are impacting lives, and I want to share their stories with you. When a person doesn't have to put on a facade or act like they are passionate about a job that they truly dislike. When a person doesn't have to put on a fake face. Instead, their passion is genuine, everything they do, and they always show up as their true selves. I want people to be around me that want to help me, because we see the value in what you're doing. I don't want people to be around me to try to help me to see what they can get out of it. That's called, a living with integrity. And when you understand your why, and you're centered on your why, and everything is aligned with your why, let me tell you something, you live with integrity, because you're not doing it for any other purpose. Somebody said, well, why do you want to reach 1 million students? I want to reach 1 million students because I know that there's probably 1 million students out there that were like me. There are probably 1 million students that are malnutrition, that are hungry, that are homeless, that are being abused physically and sexually, that are bouncing around from homes, group homes and foster homes. That is exactly the trajectory that my life was. And somebody says, well, why do you want to reach 1 million? I want to reach 1 million because, man, I feel like if I can leave that imprint, if I can leave that fingerprint on this next generation, maybe I can create such a residual effect with those million that it leverages itself, and the movement transcends all students in all 50 states. Man, I have a passion. That's exactly what we want to do. And one of the ways that we are utilizing our our tools in this mission is with our gear training. This is going to be really a game changer. We got in the lab and created this gear training, and it helps students and individuals, organizations, but primarily our students in the at-risk community. It helps them really take 4 unique steps to find their purpose. I want to share that commercial with you just one more time before we close. Listen to what gear training is. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, your friend CL King here, founder and president of the CL King Group, as well as the host of Impacting Life 24/7, a weekly podcast helping young people, those who serve them, and everyone in between make life decisions that will impact their world forever and ever. One of the things that I've discovered after speaking to over 250,000 people is that sometimes people get stuck in the mud because they've tried the same old methodologies and they just simply do not work. And so I went into the lab with my team, and we created a revolutionary training entitled GEAR, GEAR. You got to identify your giftings. You got to understand the energy and endurance required to elevate those giftings. You've got to activate yourself to make your giftings of any value. And also, you must monitor and expect results. This training is truly revolutionary for an organization as well as an individual. If you would like to have this training or sign up for it, one of our online webinars, email us at clkgorg@gmail.com, or you can contact us directly at area code 252-626-8987, and Greg will get you signed up. It's time to get in gear, ladies and gentlemen. Get in gear for the year. And so that's what we've done. We've created that training. It's a 4-step process. It's very comprehensive and it's very interactive. It really focuses on the individual, helping them identify their giftings and apply those giftings to get themselves into their why. To help people. Man, listen. You cannot have a square peg in a round hole. It just won't work. And oftentimes, many times, multiple times, there are you out there that are working in jobs or doing things that is not your passion or your purpose. It's not your gift. You're just doing it as a means to keep yourself sustained. And so the gear training is saying, man, listen, we want to help you. Even if you got to keep working, even if you got to keep doing what you're doing, even if you got to stay in that position that's not necessarily the one you want, we're going to help you find your giftings and walk through those. So that's the gear training. We offer that to students all across the country. And we want to make that available in 2021 as well. We've ran several sessions on it, and it's proven to be very, very effective. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is it for today, Monday night on Impacting Life 24/7. I hope that you have been able to garner just a little bit of the understanding of your why. Listen, there are so many forces pulling at us. Okay, there's forces pulling at us that want us to hate one another. Hello. There's forces pulling at us that want to say, man, my white brother, I can't hang with him, and my black brother, I can't hang with him. There's forces pulling with us that make us want to feel like you can't ever talk about anything political because now we're at each other's throat and we're killing one another. There are forces that are set out there to divide us. I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. I don't care if you're black, white, Hispanic, Latino. I don't care about any of that. I care that you are a human being created by God. And those titles that we hang on to, we've allowed those titles to really subvert what we're supposed to be as humans. We've allowed some of our designations to trump who we are as people. We've allowed, well, I'm a Democrat. We've allowed that to trump who we are as a person. Man, I don't want to be identified exclusively by my titles or what I've done. I want to be identified as a person and a human being and somebody that you can get along with, man. That's what I want to be identified by. Now, some people that they hang their hat on their identities and their titles and their tags and all the things that they've accomplished. That's great, man. But man, listen, at the end of the day, when that person's out there on the street corner with a sign held up, they don't really care whether you're a doctor. They don't care whether they don't care anything about your titles or your pedigree. They want to know, can you help? And I told my kids this week, I said, man, listen, the greatest thing that y'all can do, if you really want to know something great in life, is you can find a need and you can meet it. That's it. The greatest thing in life that y'all can do is you can find a need and you can meet it. So that's it for us on Impacting Life 24/7. We would love for you to subscribe. Very simple to subscribe. All you got to do is go to clkingspeaker.com and you can connect with us right there on our company website, clkingspeaker.com. Click on the podcast link and you can subscribe. We want you to rate the show. We want you to tell us what you think. And we want you to be praying about becoming a sponsor of the show in January. We're going to be rolling out a very, very robust and expansive sponsorship program for this show. And there'll be 3 levels of sponsorship. 1, to sponsor the show to help it continue to grow. 2, to get your advertisements out and let people know on this platform the other great entities out there and how people can connect with you. And 3, as you heard in our commercial for the gear training, to help us get to schools and community centers all throughout the country to help young people, and particularly in the at-risk community, get in gear. Oftentimes people, they feel like they're stuck in the mud. They feel like nobody cares. And man, it's our job to help them. So how do you connect with the show? The show is very simple. Monday night, 8:30 live, Tuesday night, 8:30 right here, and then Thursday night. But man, we're expanding on all of our platforms. We're on Spotify, we're on iTunes, we're on Google, we're on Amazon, we're on Podbean, we're soon to be on Pandora, and the list continues to go on and on. You can find us on YouTube. And what we're doing is we're saying, man, listen, we believe this works. We believe that helping people connect with those that are making an impact, this works. We're doing our part to connect this world with folks that are doing good because it's right. All the guests on my show don't do good because they're getting paid or they're doing something great. They do it because it's right. So tune back in tomorrow night, Tuesday at 8:30, right here on Impacting Life 24/7. God bless you.